welcome to Train Sim World 6. Today, I am going to try... Oh, wrong route. And... get this locomotive on test scenario completed. I mean... this will be the 4th or 5th time of me trying. I know I've done a video where I got past Warrington, and then it failed. I want to see if I can actually get all the way without scenery loss or losing ability to move. So, let's see how well I can do it, shall we? Oh, didn't mean to hit the microphone arm with my glass there. I was having a quick drink of water. Right, locomotive on test. Again. Wonder how many times it will take me to be able to do this. There's where I have to walk to. 86426 has recently returned from a long overhaul. Today you're putting it through its paces. Speak to the depot foreman for more information. Will do. I want to see if there's any collectibles as well. He's got a mullet. Today you're testing 86426 to ensure that she works as expected. A rake of coaches is waiting for you at Crewe. I will ensure that I don't thrash it too much. Wonder if there is actually any collectibles I can get while I'm around here. There's no collectibles listed yet on TSW Mania, I think the page is. Because the route's too new. There's my loco. I'll have a look at what the 87s, the 86 are. I know I'm going to have to go in between there, so sit down quickly. The loco will need starting from cold. You'll then couple up to the test raker coaches at Crewe Station. There's Class 08 in front of me. So, before we go anywhere, we'll have a look at what the other locos are. 87005, City of London, or City of Nodnall. I'm going to keep calling it that until someone comments where it's from. That one is 86423, 86009, City of Birmingham. The steam loco of which is at Millennium Point in Birmingham. And used to be in the Science Museum on rollers. So that... or shuttling... connected to motors that would shuttle it backwards and forwards. That one was the Industrial Society. 86427. And then 87016, Sir Francis Drake. Getting screenshots of each. It's an interesting little platform, that. Probably for cleaning. There's nothing around the back. Don't think there'll be any collectibles this side. It's worth having a look. There'd be... pie bombs. That's the pies in BAP bread. So cobs. Or rolls, or whatever you want to call them. There'd be mint balls. There's the rugby balls. probably some over in Crewe Works, but we're not going over there. That's where we started. We'll have a look at what the 08 and Class 47 3s are. We have 08912, 47 355. Zoom a bit closer so I get it. There we go. It gives more realistic number. And 47 378 in rail freight grey with rail freight on the cab look. There we go. Those are 47 3s. Then we've got some 87s over here, not under the wires. So they've been dragged there. 87004 Britannia, which steam loco is number 70,000. That hasn't been through Atherstone this year yet, at the time of recording. City of Manchester, 87007. And then over here, wonder if there's any collectibles there. I'd have to walk around and have a look. And then over here, we've got an 08884. And nothing else. So, we have to go to the battery isolation switch. So, crouch down. That side. I have to remember which side the corridor was. While I'm here, I'm opening that so I can get through. There we go. Back to the cab. AWS changeover lever. And AWS lever. Sit back down. Silence that. Turn my volume down a bit. You'll still hear the normal level. It's just you won't get the echo. I'm going to close that door. Key in. Brake to first application. Handbrake off. Reverser to forward. Tail lights to off. I can't remember where they are. Dimmer switch. Foot warmer. Cab switch. It's one of those. Instrument lights. There we go. And then headlight. And then release brake. Like so. I've done the handbrake. It's annoying that you have to do it in the order it says. There we go. Just go via signal Charlie Echo 164. And stop at the signal that's just up here because it's red. Over level crossing, which is why I was sounding the horn. Signal's still red, which means there'll be a train coming past. There it is. 3-car 101. Let's zoom over and get a screenshot. As is usual, the screenshots will go at the end of the video. No idea where that's come from. It's probably Chester. Or Llandudno. Maybe even Blaenau-Ffestiniog. Because in the 80s and 90s, that ran Class 101s, strangely. Right, signal is still red. Don't need notch down, I just need to put the brake on before we get to the signal. Because it's not changing yet. It's changed, just as I'm stopping. Here we go. I didn't actually have to stop. That was cool. Out onto the Chester and North Wales line. We will have to stop at signal after the next one. Signal Charlie Echo 142. But don't mind doing that, because that's part of the... Why was that up at 3? That was a bit annoying. Need to be able to stop at the signal. So going this fast, while it's within the speed limit, does mean that I have to apply the brake a bit earlier. Going uphill, round the back end, or the top end of Crewe Works, because that road marks the boundary. As evidenced by the end of the head shunt. There's actually stuff in the works. I hadn't noticed that. Let's have a look at it. While I'm close enough, we'll have a look at what is actually in Crewe Works. And get over to the siding. Maybe. Maybe not. The head shunt is just over here. Can I get to it without it going blurred? There's the head shunt for the works. Used to go further. I just realised. So it went beyond this point. It's interesting. I've never actually put the camera up this high. This place. There's a bridge. And then a fence. It would have gone round there. And the works carried further on. That's cool. I want to see what locos and stock are actually in the works. Because last time I did this, there was nothing within the works. Because the 08 dragged the 2 Class 47s and that was it. Follow the head shunt, or line that links to the old part of Crewe Works that's been abandoned by 1986. I'm not sure if Crewe Works is in Spirit of Steam. I'd have to have a look. It's a route that I haven't used in some time. There's Class 47s and 37s maybe? Class 40s. That's Class 40. Which number is it? 40028. First time having them on. Class 40, weight 133 tonnes, brake 14 tonnes, 51, electronic train, heat index 66, route availability not shown, maximum speed 90. What's the HA? Those are big diesels. Very similar to the Class 45, 44, 46, the peaks. But heavier duty. That one's number 86. And number 58. Unfortunately, a lot of Class 40s met their end at Crewe. Or Doncaster. There's a 47.3. Anything else? I think that's it. Nice to see something a bit different. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll carry on to the signal, which is definitely going to be red. Okay, that's a first. It's locked up. I'll use the loco brake to bring speed down. For the simple fact that we've not got a train behind us at the moment. And it is far easier to slow down with the loco brake when you're just a loco than it is using the train brake. Just want a little bit of power because I was running out of speed there. I'm watching distance to the signal, because when it gets below 20 I can stop, like this, because there we go, within. Contact the signal to gain authority to proceed into platform 12, which we've now got. Notch up. And crawl into platform 12. Then we couple up and I get thumbnail image. As well as taking a look at the other trains that are in the station. With a bit of luck, I should be able to run this scenario all the way through. I know how to get Warrington to load in. Basically just slow down. That used to be part of the works. Became part of... or it is. Or part of it is Crewe Heritage Centre, which I would like to go to this year. Just have to get a train up there. I know one of the collectibles that I could probably look for. That is the damaged relay cabinets. Which I've not seen. I know there's one down by the carriage sheds, as they were back in the 80s. Because I've seen it. But I've not been down to it. And I don't know of any of the others. There's an electric Class 87 in the far platform, which goes out before we do, and we trial it. The 101 from Chester or North Wales is in platform 11 or 10, maybe. Bringing my speed down. Get to a nice slow speed and just gently kiss the buffers. Just playing with the horn as I go into head out view, look down. You can hear that Class 47 just ticking over. And kiss the buffers. The test rake only has 6 coaches. A Class 47 is provided on the rear for insurance purposes, just in case things go pear-shaped. So we will release that brake. Headlight off. Power controller to off. Brake to shut down. This is where I have to use this rather than... That goes to off. That comes out. That comes down. And then we crouch and walk through. The loco. I like being able to do this. Can't do it on the other locos. Technically, I should have shut the other door, but... Get up. There we go. Master key to on. That to first application. Go and do me screenshots before the Class 87 hauled express leaves. I want to see what the loco it is. It's not a namer. It is 86,420. How often do I see that on this route? Number 420. And how many times will I see it on this? Yeah, it's that I want to reduce down. How many times will I see it on this scenario? Answers in the comments. We've seen it once. Will we see it coming in the opposite direction? I want to see what the 47 on the back is, as well as getting my thumbnail image. Like that. That'll do for thumbnail. This 47 is in large logo. It's a 47 for Thor. $647 for that 47. And the 47.3 we've got is 336. Anything in these bays? Hard to tell, because that's corrugated. The answer is no. Just the back end of the northbound express. Okay. So, master switch to forward. Tail lights to off. Headlights on. We'll be following a passenger service out of Crewe. This will allow us to test things without delaying the following passenger service. Release brakes. I could, theoretically, creep up towards that signal. So I will. I'll be a bit naughty. Are we moving yet? There we go. All I want to do is creep to the signal and then stop in front of it. Gives me a chance to see things, or see more things, I should say. I am seriously hoping that I don't get issues this time, because I would like to complete this scenario. There's the 101. Hopefully by the time I get to the signal will change to yellow. Still, there we go, it's cleared. We can now leave Crewe Station. Proceed at no more than 50 miles an hour. This will allow the passenger service to gain some distance on us. Will do. But we're not going fast until we're able to get to the main line. Because it's a 15 mile an hour speed limit until we do so. been over that footbridge. Not in real life, because it's no longer there, but in-game. Because you can go into that car park and have a sort of look around. There's no collectibles there, but you can have a look around. We are eventually going to get to Preston. I mean, we've got all this lot to do. Warrington Bank Quay, platform 2. Power controller, run up for 3 seconds to hold. Reach 70 miles an hour. Run down. Winsford up and down passing loop. Warrington Bank Quay, platform 3. So the up and down passing loop. Wigan or Western. Emergency. Train brake to running. Controller to notch up. Wigan down slow. Wigan or Western. Preston platform 4, and then everything turn off. Quite a... Okay, we've got to come back down to Crewe by the look of it. That's longer than I thought. So I hadn't even completed a quarter of it when I had the error in the last attempt. I hadn't actually looked all the way through what I've got to do. So I've got to go all the way up, run round, and head back. Is it run round? Let's have a look. Looks like it will be drive the 47 back. Interesting. So we actually get both types of traction. That would be cool. Right, can we start accelerating? Yes. We can go up to 50 miles an hour. And just have a nice relaxing run to Preston and back. It's the first time I've noticed how far we've got to go. With Warrington, I'll slow down a little bit, go through around 65, and then after Warrington I'll speed up again to get up to the 95. That way, when I do the emergency brake, which is... Will you stop it? No, it's not that. Where's the emergency brake? There should be a button that just does the emergency brake. That's the wipers, that's AWS. No, that's AWS, that's for cab light. That's class 47.3. Wiper. Vacuum chamber. DS. Oh, that's something I haven't turned on. Have now. Earn more points. Driver safety device. The only way of doing emergency brake is using that's the neutral section. It's a good job I hadn't got full power. I've just got up to notch 10. I can notch back up now. There we go. There's a southbound train. Class 87, by the look of it. Yep, 87. 2 windows. I'm not going into camera mode or photo mode all the time. There's a few places I would like to go to do photo mode. The 3 stations between Crewe and Acton Bridge Junction. There we go, we've got DSD on now. There's 3 stations between here and the junction to Liverpool. There's the junction itself, Warrington Bank Quay, the junction for this bit, this junction, and then bridge. So Newton the Willows. I can never remember the names of places. And of course Wigan Norwestern, Preston. Basically all the stations along the line. There are others between Wigan and Preston. I've done a screenshot on Acton Bridge as it goes over the Manchester Ship Canal. But there's the interesting... Why do people have to be idiots? There's the interesting bridge just south of Warrington, which is worth getting a screenshot of as well. That'd be an interesting place to film trains go through, if I ever went that far. Going to do a little behind the scenes thing here. I'm recording this on the 7th of July. Deliberately getting over a month's worth of video done, so that I have a fallback for if anything happens. There is a week and a half left of school year for Warwickshire, after which I have 6 weeks off. And, well, this coming Saturday I'm going to be at Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway doing some filming, so that'll be a video that comes out before this one. Next Friday, the 17th, is the first of my summer weekly live streams, which takes the place of one pre-record video per week. So it'll be 2 pre-recorded videos and a live stream. That one will definitely be Wonders of Sodor. Just doing continuation of either Diesel or Emily, whichever one I haven't got the tile for the fun fair. Each week will be a different thing that I live stream, and I'm doing it on Fridays because I don't have to get up in the morning. Neither do most people that would be watching. I don't know how long I'd be streaming for. It all depends on how I feel. And by the time this goes live, I'll already have done 2 or 3 live streams. So hopefully people will be watching them. Coming up to the loop. I'm going to check on YouTube as to yeah, I'll have done 3 live streams. This is a Monday video. I'm having to double check because I've currently got 8 videos already scheduled. And well, it's easy to lose track. Okay, I thought we were coming up to the loop, and we're not. We're just catching up to something by the look of it, which we're not supposed to be. Right. 16 miles to Warrington. It's around Acton Bridge Junction that we have the first of the tasks, which is the run up for 3 seconds, reach 70 miles an hour, run down, and then go up to line speed. Right. Are we approaching the first station? Of 3. I know we're approaching the end of the 4-track section. Something just loaded in. It'd be interesting if we passed a class 40. I've not driven one of them yet, nor have I seen one actually in action. As of yet, I've just had that. The trio at Crewe. Right. Now we run down. Double yellow. Coming to the end of this bit. Going downhill, so I'm having to use the brakes slightly. But we've got a 30 mph speed limit in 1.6 miles. Next signal will be single yellow. Here's the first station out of Crewe. So we will see which station it is. Have a look around, see if there's any potential collectibles for when I just investigate the route. And the camera's stuck. That's annoying. We're in the toilet. Ah, is there a way out? Yes. I don't have to. That's cool. We can actually go inside the... So, this is Winsford. I will put that back to 50 so that it lets us see things properly. And that to 50. You can tell this was done in the '70s or '80s because it's a boring box. And that is a bit wrong. That's a class 220. Or a 221 actually, because it's got... No, could be 4 coaches. But that's a Voyager. They do not operate... There's a barn. A pie barn. Why are you... There we go. That means I can see everything. That's a pie barn. There's a rugby ball. You're blocking the sign. Don't play on our lines. Blackpool by train with a class 101, even though Blackpool branches uses a class 142. That's a route map. So there's 3 collectibles on this side already. We've got Cumbria. That's a new poster. There's our train going through Winsford Station. Get a picture. Wonder what the road is. No idea. Doesn't say. It's got a footbridge, which is concrete. Can I get a decent reflection? That works. With our NEA, oh, it's a different classification for the X Mark 1 BG. There's a watering can. Okay, you're doing some gardening. I was going to say, what are you doing there? There's a route map, mint balls, Uncle Joe's mint balls. Another pie barn. Can't get into the waiting shelter. That's just a damaged poster. Ooh. Wrestling. Historic main event. Thomas Harrison v. Mark Walker. That's a new poster. Oh, let me go up. Any potential line side? There we go. Thought there would be. That's the... I know the word. My mind's gone blank. Just an S&T cabinet. Relay cabinet. Must admit, I do like electric blue on a loco. That's why anytime Les Rossi's loco comes through, I go and film it. Oh, I don't need to notch up, do I? I need to slow down by 15 miles an hour. Or less. Or more than 15 miles an hour, actually. Because I want to be crawling through the loop, so that when the northbound express goes past, as I enter the loop, which is because of siding over the other side of these bungalows and houses. But when I'm going through the loop, the express goes past, I'd prefer not to have to stop. It's just so much easier. Plus, if I'm going slower as I'm approaching this red signal, it'll change before I get to it. Ooh, the sun's come out because I'm getting shadow of the loco. Something I do want to do while I'm in the loop, being passed by the express, is get a picture of the express going past. Because I haven't done that yet on any attempt at this scenario. Right. Yellow signal. AWS alarm. I caught it just at the right second. Looks like 1970s houses. Basically cookie cutter houses. Feathers showing diverging to the left. One mile to the red signal. There's the line further down. This one. Over and Wharton run round. A bit of braking. There's collectibles there. I've just seen. Or are they? That's a radio. That's a propane gas tank. It's a lot of people. Ruston and Becoris crane. Pipes. Not sure if there'll be anything round there. Thought there was a collectible, I can't see one. Oh well. Let's have a look at the name of the signal box before we continue into the loop. It's an old level crossing. Would have crossed over there. And there's a sign saying warning or danger, overhead live wires, in the old 80s style. Winsford. It's a lot of rubbish. But there was in the 80s, so that's realistic. Okay, this is Winsford Good Loop, which we're about to go into. And I am deliberately bringing my speed down. I'll use the loco brake to slow down even more. I know it's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, but going slower means there's less chance of something going wrong. We've got 900 yards before the red signal. When I hear the northbound or down passenger service, I'll go into photo mode. I should be fully in the loop now. So the signal should clear for the northbound service. By the time I get to the end of that head shunt, should start hearing it. There we go. It is an 87. Passing me. Get a screenshot and see which 87 it is. Hello the wind. 87031. If I go like that, you can just about see me in the background. In 86426. How about a view out the cab, looking down? Like that. Right. Let that go. That'll be a nice place to live. Right next to railway. It'll be a few seconds before the signal goes yellow. And then I can start accelerating. Currently, my signal is red. Ooh, there's a southbound. Also, an 87. Which one's that? Because it's a namer. That is Wolford Badenoch. 87027. Heading towards Crewe and London. With an intercity. Might need to slow down a little bit. As long as I'm not stopped. There we go. Run up to about 5. By the time I reach the signal, it should be double yellow. Or even green. That's the reason I was going so slow. It enabled the other service to get out of section. There we go, it's cleared. We'll get up to reasonable speed without speeding, and then continue our journey. Supposedly we're going on to a line that's 110 miles an hour. We're not doing that. Not straight away. Even when we're allowed full speed. We can only do 95 because that's what the loco at the back is rated for. Whereas we are rated for 100. Should be out onto the main any second. Fully out, I mean. There we go. Notch up to 10. And increase the speed. 12 miles to Warrington. Go through Warrington. Go to the bridge next to Newton Le Willows. Do the emergency brake. Hopefully manage to keep going. Or manage to get going again. Seeing as that's where it failed last time. I'm hoping it doesn't do that this time. I'm going to try and be going at 95 miles an hour. So should get over the crest of the hill. Which I didn't manage last time. I don't want to have to reset the simulation physics, because that prevents me from doing anything, which is somewhat annoying. As it is, this is going to be a long scenario, because I've got to go up to Preston and back to Crewe. I wasn't expecting that bit, but then I hadn't actually gone into the schedule in depth before. So, over river. As I've said previously, this is a fantastic route. The only downside, it really is memory hungry, because the amount of detail on it is far more complex than any other route. Even running with just the British routes that I own, my laptop struggles. I mean, this is either the 4th or 5th time trying this particular... The first test would be the tap changer and brakes. Follow the instructions given to you. I will do. It's either the 4th or 5th time doing this, and, well, it's been some time since I want to see which station this is and get some more screenshots. So we'll go into photo mode. There's a collectible. There's the anachronistic poster. There's that poster. This is Hertford. So we're not at Acton Bridge yet. He's walking down the ramp to... Ooh, there's the station building. Interesting. Anything in here that we can have a look at? There's another collectible. There's a dude. There's no access to the lavatories. That's the way up and over the bridge. That's a cool shot. I do know that in here, I don't know what that's from. It's just weird. And it's semi-hidden by that, which is underneath station building. It's way down from there. Let's get a... Can I get a reflection shot? Yay. That works. You know, that would make a good thumbnail image as well. Let's go over this side. We'll have a look at the other train as well. Because I forgot there was that on there. Looks like it's a shorter train. With a flashing rear end device. Seven coaches behind a Class 47. So not exactly a short train, but still. 47328. Oh, the shadows of the leaves are quite good. And then we've still got 338, I think it is. Or 336. Ooh. Shadows on that look quite cool as well. .336. Right. We'll reach 70 miles an hour. So run up to about 28 or 30. And then it will be run down. There's a power line. That'll be going to Fiddler's Ferry. There's a line coming in from here. Don't know where that goes. Officially, nowhere. And also, nowhere. I was hitting M rather than N then, which is why I only got one tone for most of that. Goods loops. Don't know what's over there. I'm not going into external camera mode just to have a look. Oh, this completes these tests, increased line speed, and after Warrington will perform an emergency stop to test the brakes. We'll run at 70, I think. So I'll run down to 5. Don't need to be at line speed. At least not until we've gone through Warrington. We should be coming up to Acton Bridge Station soon. And then we go over Acton Bridge Viaduct. And the actual junction, Acton Bridge. Here's Acton Bridge Station, the third one between Crewe and line to Liverpool. There's route map. Rubbish. Someone's bicycle. An older style waiting shelter with a wood burning stove and a pie barn. And visit the United Kingdom this winter. No thanks. I don't like cold, and I don't like extreme heat. I'm more a spring and autumn person. There we go, Acton Bridge. Keep back from the platform edge. Passing trains cause air turbulence. Yep. Strangely enough, the northbound platform is offset from the two southbound ones. Can I get a good reflection? I like the reflections in the pool, the puddles. There's some more mint balls. Hadn't seen them before. Can we go in that one? Yeah, there's no collectibles in there. There's a dude doing some work. And another junction cabinet, or relay cabinet. And get 86426. There we go. Next station is Warrington Bank Quay, which is after Acton Bridge Junction. We have Acton Bridge itself just up here, and then Acton Bridge Junction, and then Warrington Bank Quay. The DSD alarm came on at the same time as the bell for the AWS magnet. That was cool. Over a road. I think it's just round this bend for Acton Bridge. Yeah, there it is. Acton Bridge. And the Manchester Ship Canal. It goes that way towards Manchester. And that way towards the Irish Sea. I am deliberately not going at 95 miles an hour. This is Acton Bridge Junction. What I want to do is get my train, or my loco, through the bridge where the Liverpool line, up line from Liverpool, goes over the top of the West Coast Main Line. Technically, the branch to Liverpool is part of the West Coast Main Line, but it's not included in this route. It is included in Spirit of Steam, just not this route. Here's Acton Bridge Junction. Which is a high-speed junction. Trains to Liverpool branch off to the left. And we go under the up line. And the camera's in. Oh, it's not. That's good. I've got to go round this way because it put the camera underground. And the only way I could get out was going that way. That's a substation for the overhead, which is quite cool. Nice that it's modelled. There's me coming out from the bridge that the Liverpool line uses, which goes off that way, and then back that way to Crewe, Stafford, Birmingham, and then on that way you can see the steam from Fiddler's Ferry Power Station. Over there is Warrington Bank Quay, Wigan, Preston. I expected that. That was a neutral section. I don't mind losing a bit of speed. We've got the only tunnel on the line. I don't know whether it's worth having cab lights on. Oh well, just in case. It's not a very long tunnel. Just long enough for the light to have some effect. 5.4 miles to Warrington. Once we're through Warrington, I'll accelerate again. So that by the time we get to the point where it says apply emergency brakes, I'm doing line speed. And applying the brakes should get me over the summit of that slight incline. Going a bit slower, as I am, should, theoretically, enable the scenery to load in. Though also going into photo mode should force it. Under the M6, I think it is anyway, there's a 47 on coal. HEA wagons. Ooh, there's a church there, I think. Yeah, looks like it. Fiddler's Ferry is behind the A pillar. We're going at 71 miles an hour. There's the Liverpool line, or the line back from Liverpool to head north towards Preston, Carlisle, Glasgow and Edinburgh. There's Fiddler's Ferry. Talking of Glasgow and Edinburgh, I do have that route now. It's part of the West Coast Main Line. Glasgow Central to Edinburgh Waverley. And well, I might do some videos on it. After all, West Coast Main Line is the main line I like the most. Hence why the majority of the videos recently have been the West Coast Main Line. Either the West Coast Main Line South, London to Milton Keynes, the Trent Valley Line, Milton Keynes to Crewe, the Grand Junction Railway, Birmingham to Crewe, this one, West Coast Main Line Crewe to Preston, or West Coast Main Line over Shap, Preston to Carlisle. I am considering, over the summer holidays, doing a series of 8 consecutive videos, which will be for release around September, October time, where I start in London and go to Carlisle and back. I don't know whether I'd be following timetable or just free roam. Free roam, there's no passing trains, which would probably be better for this route. Not gonna lie, it would probably be best for this route to not have trains passing. But there's the Liverpool line. The other lines, I can have trains passing without issue. Is the scenery meant to be like that? I can't remember. There's one of the transport bridges over the Mersey. Here's the interesting bridge. And a little bit of stuttering, but we are going slow enough that things should, theoretically, load in. If not, I do know how to force it. Can't see the industrial buildings at the moment. Please work. Once I'm through Warrington, scenery shouldn't have an issue. Apart from coming back. Problem is, what happens if the scenery doesn't load now? Right, I want this interesting bridge in shot with my train in it over the River Mersey. There's one of the transporter bridges. There's Fiddler's Ferry. The transporter bridges are interesting concepts. Is Warrington... yeah, it's loaded. This is an interesting looking bridge. Whee! Can go even higher. Can look at the scenery better. That's the Mersey, as far as I'm aware. It's perfectly straight though, and it's got a towpath. Let me look on... maps. So... Oh, that other viaduct. That's Dutton Viaduct. That stone one. And it's over the River Weaver. And this one is Acton Grange Viaduct, which is over the Manchester Ship Canal. Okay. So that's the Manchester Ship Canal. That transporter bridge is no longer there. It's being taken out. What about the one? The one up by Warrington Bank Quay Station on the River Mersey is there. So the one over the... That one there has gone. Right, we will get to and through Warrington. Then we'll accelerate again. And then... get to where we have to do the emergency stop. Which is just before Newton the Willows. I have to really think when it comes to things like that, because I keep forgetting. There's some Class 20s on merry-go-round train. In the yard. And they'll be going under this line at Warrington Bank Quay Station. Here's the River Mersey Bridge. Which used to be 4-track. And in 1986 was 2-track. Scenery is loaded, which is what matters. Yes, there's a bit of stuttering, but Warrington is a very, very detailed area. So, I'm not... There's a Class 20 on the back. Oh no, no 20. There's an empty merry-go-round train, which will go over the top of us at Newton and Willows. You know what? I'm going to get some screenshots of the MGR train. (2208) and 177. They look quite cool. One thing that is a little bit wrong. 1980s, there weren't as many female drivers. So, a female driver in a class 20, not accurate. Okay, so, yeah, having so many female drivers in the 80s is not 100% accurate. But it's probably because my player model is female. What's down here? We've got class 08, class 47, and a lot of, I think they're TEA tankers. They are TEAs. Oil tankers in English. It's 47 stroke 4. Number 405. And 08910. With some merry-go-round wagons. Which are the HAA. Bit too far. I want to see if there's anything in Warrington. Maybe. We'll soon find out. Once we're through Warrington, as I said, I will open her up over the line to Fiddler's Ferry. Which is a couple of miles to our left. I think that's the Is that the Fiddler's Ferry line? No. Not yet. I'm not worried too much about stuttering here, because it just means things are loading in. Scenery items and other trains. Which is a good sign. There is a class 47. Speed limit. I'm not even close to the 75 miles an hour. I will go into photo mode and look around to see if there's anything of interest apart from the station hotel. I want to see what that 47 is numbered. Don't think they've got any named 47s. It's on the bay platform. Can I do that? That works. Interesting type of screenshot. 47416. There's an oil depot. Can I get the reflection of the 47? No. That's a shame. There's a puddle there, though. No, that's new platform. What about over here? Does that one let me get the 47-inch shot? Yeah. I like having the reflections. It's an added extra thing. They didn't need to put the puddles there. Especially not on clear, dry days. But the fact that the reflections work... Is there another puddle I can use? Maybe. The fact that these reflections actually do work. You get the reflection in them. Like that. Makes it really good. Right. Let the frame rate start going back up. Now that we've gone through Warrington. Get up to... We'll get past the junction, which is just up here. Wind up the traction motors. Try and get a bit more speed again. When it's finished freezing. That is. Come on. And up to about 25, I think. When it stopped freezing. Come on. Something's loading, I don't know what. I'm just letting it run. I'm not getting wound up. No point. I will just let it. There we go, we can run up. About 15 or 20. Go. Build up speed for the junction. Or for the emergency stop, I should say, because that's after junction to the Newton Le Willows line. That's why it froze. There was an 87. That 87 is what caused stuttering. Should, theoretically, be a bit easier until the next train loads in. Curse the commentator. Just as we're going past the gasometers. Ooh, we can go up to 95 miles an hour. Though in 1.7 miles it's 80 miles an hour. So we'll get up to about 90 and then have to slow down, I think. I am paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm not going to let my mind wander. It's a pity that some of the cargo lines DLCs don't have scenarios for this route. There's only the 5 main scenarios for this route, whereas Preston to Carlisle, you've got military, nuclear, there's another one and I can't remember what it is, but you get extra scenarios. It would be so cool if they could do scenarios for those packs for this route that only unlock if you've got those packs. So, nuclear, military, oil, intermodal, and aggregates are the 5 cargo lines. Okay, I'm going to have to notch or run down because we're about to hit the 80-mile-an-hour point when it stops locking up. Something is loading in, and that something is an 87. As I said, it would be cool if cargo lines were updated so that you could do extra scenarios on this using those stock packs, or some of the other routes stock being used to create scenarios. So the 87s and 47-4s from Preston to Carlisle, the Pacers from Blackpool branches, those are actually included as AI, but you don't have any scenarios with them where you're driving them, which is a bit of a shame. You can do timetable services with them, because they're layers for timetables, but you can't do scenarios with them. We're about to hit the next checkpoint, which is why it's stuttering. It'll do apply emergency brake just as we get to that bridge. I will leave it a few seconds to let me get past the summit of this slight gradient. I'll do it when it just starts slackening off. That way, by the time it comes to a stop, we'll be angled downhill. Once everything is reset, I'll be able to get going again. I'm deliberately winding the motor back up so that when I do apply the brake, I'm going a decent speed. Okay, a bit further along than I thought to get the notification to apply the brake. We're still going uphill. But we start going downhill just after we cross under the branch to Newton the Willows. Okay. Somewhere along here it will tell me to do the brake. Because I remember this bridge and this cutting. I'm watching the gradient profile. It's this bridge. There we go. You're going to tell me to do it? There's the neutral section, which I don't mind. Apply emergency brake application when directed. Should say an emergency brake application. Brake test. Set the brake to emergency. Are we going downhill yet? No, we're still going uphill. Wait until I'm over the crest, please. And then I'll apply it. I'm out of the cutting now, so I should, theoretically, be able to do that. There's the junction for the Newton Willows line. I've gone a bit further along than probably should have done, but hopefully I'm not on too steep a gradient to get going. Stop. The brakes definitely work. That completes the testing. Take the train to Preston. I will do. When I'm able to. Basically when you've stopped locking up. Okay. I'm waiting for the frame rates to go back up before I can do anything. Brake. Release. Bit of luck, I should get going without having to. It's cleared this time. There we go. We're moving. I'm going to try and get a shot to see. I just want to see over the junction. If it will let me. Just by the look of it. Yeah, the 47's just over the junction by the look of it. Not that I can get very close, because I'm looking towards Wigan. I mean, Warrington, which is a busy tile. In terms of detail and scenery. I like how realistic the clouds look. They do look like proper cumulonimbus, I think they are, clouds. Yeah, we're clear of the junction. That's all I wanted to check. There we go. To the left, one colliery and Newton Willows. To the right, Warrington. Avoiding Newton Willows. We shall carry on heading to Preston via Wigan. Power up to 10, otherwise I'll burn out the traction motors. Get up to over 20 before I start accelerating even more. Okay, we can now go up to 15. Have to keep an eye on the current draw, which, if it's yellow, is okay. If it goes red, it's not okay. Which is why I'm applying power carefully. In game, it doesn't really affect things. In real life, you'd burn out the traction motors if you applied full power straight away. So I am watching current draw and applying power a bit at a time. Just so that I do not cause traction motors to burn out through too much current. Or the electrical systems to burn out. 3.5 miles to Wigan. We go through Wigan Northwestern. I will go into photo mode at Wigan and have a look around, especially at Wigan Wallgate, because I've actually been to both Wigan Northwestern and Wigan Wallgate. It was over 4 years ago, but I have been there, so I know what they look like. This is the first time I've driven a train on this section of line. I've ridden as a passenger, or guard. And I've driven southbound. I've not driven northbound. I drove the merry-go-round train from just up here. I think it was just north of Wigan, where the sheds are. Ooh, we got 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. Let's run down. Something's loading in. Looks like we've been put on the slow lines. Doesn't bother me. This is the first time I've managed to get this far in this scenario. So, yeah. One thing I am going to do when we get to Preston is save, just in case. Because if I don't save the game and it crashes, then all this effort will be for naught. Which would be so annoying. .7 miles to the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. When it gets to 0.8 of a mile, I'll start slowing down. I have a feeling I'll be having trains passing me in both directions. Okay, I'm going to apply the brakes now, because the next signal is red. Which is a bit weird. I wasn't expecting a red signal, but might be because I'm crossing over onto the line on the left. I don't know. I do know I'm coming up to the sheds that we started the merry-go-round scenario at. So that might be a reason for the signal. This is a bit of line that is incredibly beautiful. Probably be better in autumn, with the golden colour of trees and either early morning light or late afternoon, early evening. Is the signal going to change before I get to it? That is the question. I may have to apply a bit more braking force. Got 540 yards. Won't have to apply a bit more braking force, I'll have to release some braking force. And be prepared to apply the brakes a bit more. After the AWS magnet. This is a uncharted territory, shall we say, because I've not been here yet on this scenario. Just waiting for whatever it is that's loading in to load in. And then we can continue to Wigan. Which isn't really that far away. Where are we? We're going via the down slow. It's cleared to yellow, which is good. The Wigan sheds should be up ahead. I'm putting brake on because I'm going a little bit quick for the crossover. There we go. Over crossover 1. Over crossover 2. Over canal. Definitely a canal because there's narrowboats on it. Is it a canal or is it a cut? Considering they're narrowboats, not barges. It's really difficult to tell. The Leeds and Liverpool Canal, so it's classed as a canal, but because it's narrow, it's a cut. And that lake area is Horrocks Flash. I wonder if that branch that's just diverged. Yes, it does. There we go. Goes down there. Don't know where it goes. I'm not going to look on maps. Oh, we've got a train going past. I was looking for Wigan. There's Wigan. We've got Northwestern and Aldgate. We will have a look around both. One branch takes a really tight corner up here. That's electrified. I don't know where that goes. That's CWS, which is milk, dairy. Ooh, red. I didn't see that signal. I did not see that red signal. It's a good job I stopped. And everything's just frozen. Let's just creep towards the signal. We're going backwards slightly. Shouldn't be, we should be going forwards. Felt like we were going backwards, but it's currently frozen. Obviously waiting for my laptop to wake up. There we go. Let's notch up a little bit. And just creep to the signal. I'm going to have to put the brake on again, but I'm going to get to the signal first. I have a feeling there'll be another train coming before I get to the signal. Applying brakes. Yep, there's another train. Double-headed freight. Why is that taking over? Yeah. Overtaking me. With City of Manchester. We've already seen that one. And City of Birmingham. They were both on the electric shed. So they've come from Crewe. While I'm waiting the road. Let's get a shot like that. Let's do an upload as well. If it'll work. It's taking its time. There we go. Upload that one. Okay, that's uploaded. And we'll just wait for our signal, shall we? We are 1.6 miles from Wigan North Western. It's an interesting shape of junctions here, look. There's the sheds. There's Wigan North Western. We continue north. And then the name of the sheds by Wigan are Springs Branch. Just waiting for a green signal. Trying to force the signalman to do the signal, and they're not. So we'll start releasing the breakdown to first application. So that once that goes yellow and then green, we can go. I just don't know how long we'll be waiting. So we've got Wigan North Western, Preston Platform 4. All of those get done. Go to the station foreman. Go to the class 47. AWS, master key to on, reverser, and then it's drive to Acton Bridge, Crewe, turn off. Hopefully, shouldn't take too long. I think I can see another train coming. Maybe. Heading south. I saw some lights flickering. We're waiting while all the trains that have been behind me have got to go. That is an express. Hauled by Velocity. This locomotive was named on the 16th of October 1985 by Matthew Rake, aged 10, winner of the BBC TV Superstore Name a Locomotive competition, Saturday Superstore. Matthew Ricks, not Matthew Rick. 023, 87023. It's cool that he's immortalised in-game. I don't think the loco is still named, but the sheds are just there. The shed that started with for the merry-go-round scenario. There's that tight bend out to whatever's down there. While we're waiting, I might as well just look what it says on the sidings. These are Ince Moss tip. Come down here. Zoom in. Does it say? Nope. Innsmouth. CLW glass. That'll be... That's a long line. Don't know where it goes. Still got a red. That's a long line, and I don't know if you can actually drive it. Down here we've got... Kelbrits. That is waiting for me. Signal Whiskey November 128. Let's recenter on me. I've still got a red. Is there another service coming up? Not that I can see. Ooh, there's a Goldborn. Interesting. Must be collectibles there. I've got a yellow now. Release the brakes. And through Wigan Northwestern. And then from Wigan, we've got Wigan Northwestern. We head north. Not as far as we've already come. To Preston. Let's notch up. Get going. Should be non-stop now to Preston, where we shut down this loco, speak to the station foreman, and then head back to Crewe. I like the fact that you can actually bring up the schedule, because if it didn't, I wouldn't know how long it'd be taking, and I'd be getting a little bit stressed by the time we got to Preston, going, why have I got to go back? I don't want to go back. At least I know I've got to go back. So I'm not worried. Gonna go past Wigan Springs sheds. Which are just on the right. Which I've had a quick look around before. I mean, I got the one collectible. There's probably more there. Actually, I got two collectibles there. The other one being... I've got the mint balls in the shed. And one of the... relay cabinets. Got some Class 47s on shed. I'm not going to go into photo mode for that, because I want to go into photo mode at Wigan. Wigan Northwestern. We've got yellow. It'll be double yellow by the time I get to it, because I'm not going that fast. Ooh, the greenery starts going on the track there. Shows how little this track gets high-speed services. We've got 50 mile an hour as we go on to the down main or down line, full stop. Let's power down so that we're not speeding. Onto the main line. Which has a 95 mph speed limit. And AWS magnet. Now. I believe that'll be a double yellow. Because I'm not going as fast as I would if I was an express. When I do the 8-part return service to Carlisle, I'm probably going to use a modern train. So something like 805 or 807. I'm not sure if they actually go up to Carlisle, but it's an extra thing that can do 110 miles an hour. Pendolinos go all the way up to Glasgow, but they don't have the option of going diesel. Unlike the 805. I've already driven a Voyager between Preston and Carlisle, but they're not used on West Coast Main Line anymore. The Class 222, which is same family, originally built for East Midlands Railway, or leased to them, does go along the West Coast Main Line now. Goes from Stirling to London Euston and return. But that's the 222/6 in Lumo livery, which is light blue. This is Wigan. And while the 222 is broadly similar to a Class 220, there are some differences. So painting one in Lumo livery isn't really accurate, though I have downloaded someone's creation of a Lumo liveried. That was Wolf of Badenoch. I have downloaded someone's creation of a Lumo liveried 220. So we'll see. Right. When we get towards the end of the platform, I'll go in photo mode and have a look around, because I've not yet done that. I mean, we're now in totally uncharted territory for driving, because I most definitely have not driven anything north of the sheds at Wigan. As I said, I've been a passenger or guard without doing guard role between Crewe and Preston, and passenger riding the cushions Preston to Crewe. I've not driven this section. That's that objective complete. 15 miles to Preston. It's not too bad. Photo mode. Get a screenshot of me train in Wigan. Ooh, that's a perfect stop point. Right next to the doors of the southbound service. That's a lift. Wonder if the lift works. Answer, no. So you have to use the underpass, which goes all the way out like that. Then there's a bridge. That isn't there anymore, I don't think. That goes to Wigan Wallgate, which is over there. Before we go over there, let's see which 87 is on the express. Proper hydraulic buffers. I do like the way that Just Trains put in accurate details. That's the only thing I have against All Aboard Studios 2 routes. The Chester... Oh, William Shakespeare, not Wolford Badenoch. The Chester platforms are supposed to have hydraulic buffers, and they've just put plain dumb buffers in the place. Let's have a look at Wallgate. As I said, I've been here 4 years ago. Oh, it won't let me go. Naughty. Nasty. Horrible. Annoying. You actually come out, go down, walk, and go through that entrance, but it won't let you go and look at it. That's nasty. Can I go over there now? Why wouldn't it? Weird. Yeah, the 142s. That's going to Manchester. Yep. It's electrified now, because I rode a 323 when I went to Bolton from Wigan Wallgate. I think it was a 323. Has been a while. That one is probably going to... It's terminated. that's a reasonably accurate rendition of Walgate. Considering you can't actually drive trains onto it, and you're not really supposed to be able to get there, it does feel... Can we go up? That's the way in. Does feel reasonably accurate. Can we go out the front now? There we go. That's station entrance. I worked out how to bypass their blocks. Bit naughty of me, because you're not supposed to be able to do that, but... yeah. That is accurate. And then Wigan Northwestern, you enter, or exit in my case, because coming back I went via Manchester. There's a collectible. That's cool. Come out through this way. Toilets. There's the... You're not supposed to go out this way. It's usually blocked off these days. And then platforms. I will do an exploration and hop between... Sorry, my laptop squeaked as I moved it on my lap. Hop between stations. Look for things like that. The relay cabinet that needs repairing. We shall carry on and get to Preston. We can do 95 miles an hour after we've left Wigan. Not sure if we'll see the... There it is. There's the 142. Don't know where that'll be going. So, that way. Over there. And then slightly to the right, I believe. I don't know if we can actually drive to go to whatever this is. Wigan carriage sidings? No, we won't be able to. But the fact that I could just force the camera to get to Wigan Walgate and have a look. And they've modelled it despite the fact that you can't get there. That's cool. What I'd love to do is just drive a train from the station near Newton the Willows to Wigan Walgate. Don't know if it's possible. The only way of finding out is by free roam and just setting a path. There'd have to be a 142. Because that's the trains or units that used that line in the 80s. Accelerate now. "14 miles to Preston." That's an interesting building. An old mill, by the look of it. We'll get to Preston, which will be another slideshow. Is there track down there? No. There's my allotments. There's that mill. Or factory, or whatever it is. We should be able to get up to 95 quite easily. There's 87 on, or a pair of 87s on freight. Freightliner, as they were known in the 80s. Nowadays, just intermodal. Because they go between road, rail and sea. Containerized freight. In the 80s they were freight liner services. From privatisation on, Freightliner became the company that took over I think it was, there was Freightliner, but not as a company, it was a division of British Rail. The freight services were the first privatised. So you had EWS, Freightliner, Load Haul, Mainline. Freightliner took over Load Haul. EWS eventually took over Mainline. Need a bit more oomph. I want to try and get some speed up. Shouldn't be looped again. For a second then I thought that door was an Among Us character just appearing randomly. It's not, it's a door with a sign on it. It just looked like it because of the sign being slightly off centre from the angle that we can see it on the train. Right. Finally speeding up. We should be able to get up to 95 miles an hour. We'll then get to Preston before doing the return. But, as I said, when I get to Preston, I will one, save. Ooh, nice little underpass. I'll save the game, just to be on the safe side. And then probably go into photo mode again. Another bridge. This used to be 4-track. That muddy... Ooh, past 47 on Express. That muddy lane next to us used to be one of the tracks. You can tell by the bridges, they're too heavy duty to be just a track. Mud track, not railway track. Obviously, sometime between Days of Steam and when the route's set, that line was lifted, but it's wide enough to be 4-track along here. You can tell by the width of the structures. They're too wide for just 2 tracks, or 2 tracks and a lane. I have no idea if this section nowadays is 2-track or 4-track. This is a bit I have never been on, strangely. Furthest north I've been on a train is on this line, Wigan, on any line, Bolton. Though Heritage Railway I've been to Bury and the East Lancs Railway, which is slightly further north. But I've not done main line to get there. Strangely, that was 26 years ago that I went to Bury, which is scary. That's an interesting building as well. I'm pressing the button because it was constantly beeping, not because I wanted to check the signal. Right, 8.9 miles to Preston. We'll have to slow down coming into Preston, because I think there's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. We're going into platform 4, which is around the middle of the station, if I remember rightly. I'll wait until after the DSD sounds again, then I'll have a look on the map, because that will show. We're going down quite a steep gradient. I'm going to have to slow down a bit. Get it down to about 86. Make it 90. Right. I'm not worried about that, that's goods loop. There's a station, there's the Ormskirk line. There. Oh, we're going into that platform. Okay. We've got a station between us and Preston. There's the original route of the West Coast Main Line. It was straightened. So, a slight deviation from the original route. Designed to speed things up when electrification happened in the 60s. Which is why there's that wiggle. That looks like the station just in front of us. Have to have a look at which station it is. And of course, get some screenshots. I've scored so far 13,492 points. And, touch wood, I've not done any speeding. Which, for me, is good. Because normally by now, I've had at least 2 or 3 speeding incidents. I haven't had any yet. But then, I've been obeying what I've been told. Mostly. Something is loading. It's probably the Preston tile. Preston will have a lot of detail. Come on. Don't be silly. Okay, the sound decided it was going to cut out there. I think that's a station just the other side of the bridge. Should be the one that is between us and Preston. Maybe not. No, it's a footbridge, but not a station. I think a train was loading in. The train that we go... Ooh, we got a hill, so we can accelerate again. That should keep speed around 86 until we start going downhill again. Single yellow. Or double yellow even. Is it going to clear? Or is it just because of the end of the line on the left? I know we've just gone over a neutral section, which is why power's suddenly gone. But we're going downhill, so we won't stall. 5 miles to Preston. Hopefully whatever's loading will be relatively easy. Okay, that's single yellow. Good job I've got nearly a mile to stop, isn't it? I like the way they put rails in the middle of the running line to show that there's possibility of work being done. It's cleared. Let the brake off. Gravity should increase our speed. And here's the station. There we go, there's the station. 4 miles from Preston. Another mill. Or factory. See a lot in the north. Factories and mills. I'm going to look at what station this is. It is... Wow, that's an impressive building. We've got a route map. Is there anything out here saying what it is? I can see a station name sign above the bug, but I'm not going over there at the moment. I want to see if there's any external signs. Leyland. Okay, that's a cute little wooden station building. Old posters coming down. All the random posters. Boarding a moving train one. Blackpool by train. Don't play on our lines. You're not wearing appropriate clothing to be doing ticket. That's a Ford. escort van. Mint balls. Can't go into the booking office. At least not the actual office bit. Anything in there? Nope. That sign is a bit weathered, to say the least. Get a screenshot of that, because that's quite funny. That's a replacement one. As is that. And that. That's been recently tarmacked. Looking towards high detail area, so it's struggling. There's a cabinet to be fixed. There's my Class 47 that I'll be taking charge of on the way back to Crewe. There's a pie barm, and next to it a rugby ball. I don't have to go very far to look for those collectibles. Ooh, interesting. Can look in, but we can't see what. Passengers must not pass this point. No, I don't think you can. It'd be too dangerous. Okay. Oh, there's another cabinet there, look. Get one more shot. Oh, I want the picture of the station building as well from this side, because that's cool. Let's make it a bit less. Yeah, that'll do. Right, 4 miles. Four miles to Preston. And we're starting to get the signals. And then, when we're at Preston, we shut down this cab. And go and see the station foreman. Why am I looking up? I didn't look up. Stop it. Can I look down, please? That's better. I'm not going to be speeding now, because... well, I can speed up a bit. I have a feeling... the signals are going to stay. Ooh, so carriage. That's interesting. Was there a coach there? Don't know what that is. Let's have a look. Will you stop? I'm trying to look at something. Trying to see what these say. Absolutely nothing. Don't know what that is because it doesn't tell you. But there's a coach there, which makes me sort of think it's meant to be works of some sort. Let's notch down again. Don't need power at the moment because we're going downhill. That bus suddenly just spawned on top of the bridge. We're on the edge of Preston, which is why I am not speeding up, apart from by gravity. We'll be going under the line between Ormskirk and wherever. This is an old station. If I remember rightly. Can I zoom out? Yes, there it is. Oh, shut up! I know there's signals. You don't have to keep alarming. Yeah. I am trying to look at things. Thought I saw a train behind me then. There isn't. We've got just a short distance to go. That's the line from Ormskirk. I think that's the line from Ormskirk. Let's have a look. Yeah. Ormskirk line should have joined up with us by now. No, not yet. Come on, zoom back, go back out. Thank you. There's the Ormskirk line. Alarm. Starting to apply brakes because speed limit is 30 miles an hour in Preston. Strange how I remember that. Despite never having driven in from this direction. It's a flat 30 miles an hour through all platforms. Is that a single yellow? Yes. We will... Oh no. Yep, single yellow. We will have a red, which we will probably have to stop for. So, slowing right down is a good idea. What was that sign? I need to see what that sign said. I saw a sign. Skew Bridge Junction. Okay. Where's Skew Bridge? It's probably that one. That was different. Applying more braking force because the signal's still red. Let the brakes back off quickly. And hit my microphone with my glass again. Be prepared to stop. Oh, it's cleared. I can just coast. We've just gotta get into Preston now. No point in speeding up. Or applying power to speed up. Because it's a 30 mph speed limit in Preston. We've got the feathers to go left, to go right even. Route indicator. Commonly called feathers, but not feathers McGraw. As I do a lot in these videos, if you ever hear a reference, comment about it below. Say what the reference is. Shows me that you're watching the videos. Usually I don't do a reference until towards the end, or at least halfway. It's usually something to do with TV, film, even radio at times, with music. But if you understand the reference, comment about it. Let me know you are watching. I mean, Feathers McGraw is probably the most obvious of my references. But I've had others, and not just this video. I just want to know if people are cultured enough to understand the references, and if they're watching all the way through. I mean, we're not even near the end yet, because we've got to head back to Crewe at 95 mph. Up to 95 mph. Making this quite a long video. But that is okay. We're doing the scenario. I've got further into it than I have ever before. And, well, hopefully people are still watching. Though there is the possibility of me splitting it into two parts, given how long it's likely to be. So I might do that, which will make the video, or make the second part come out on check. Yeah, second part will be on Wednesday. That's possible. Split the video in two. Have the second part on Wednesday. It's not as if I'm gonna have to stop recording. I can just continue recording today and split the video when I edit it. So we shall see. Right. Bringing the speed down. First time entering Preston in this platform from the south. I have entered Preston from the south before using the Blackpool Branches route. But not with this route. Need to get within stopping point. Come on. Okay, that'll do. Class 47 with dragging this formation back to Crewe. Shut down the loco to avoid any damage. Okie dokie. Headlight off. Tail light to left. That's that one. Power controller to off. Brake to shut down. That to off. Pantograph down. Okay, where's that? Where's pantograph down? There we go. Masticator off. AWS changeover leader. Isolate, unisolate, or isolate, and then off. Now we go and talk to the station foreman. Climb down steps. Close the door. That's noisy. And a driver to take this train back to Crewe is missing. Could you help us out? There's the option of giving up and finishing, and the option of continuing. So, part 2 of the video on Wednesday will be the continuation. So, thank you for watching part 1. Enjoy the upcoming screenshots from this part, and until Wednesday, have a fantastic time and be seeing you.
Productions. Filming trains and events that happen in town.
Wearing his red trilby, Dale can be seen with cameras 3 all set up.
Steam trains and diesels, electrics and freights.
Dickens and fireworks, tractors at Christmas.
Warbler Productions.